Hello there, welcome back to Crafters TV. It is Sunday. We like to ease ourselves in on a Sunday, don't we? With, of course, the softer side of life, and that's exactly what we've got for you coming up for over the next 90 minutes. Our destination sewing and needlecraft show. Also, it is day 5 of Craftmas today, which is fantastic. So we are celebrating the 12 days of Craftmas with lots of different offers for you. Today's is a free gift. Every single order place will get a free gift of the quilting clips. We're going to throw those into each and every order that is placed today, which is rather wonderful. It is a rather fabulous Sunday as well, because I have the privilege for the first time to work with the lovely Becky, who's joining me now in the studio. How are you, Becky?
Very well, thank you. Lovely to be here. Very exciting.
Yeah, really, really lovely to have a show together with you. I know you've popped up a couple of times previously already on Crafters TV, but lots of people are new, lots of people might be meeting you for the first time. How long have you been sewing for, and what sort of got you started? What's your inspiration?
Oh God, how long have I been sewing for? I mean, that is that's a real question, because I've always been sewing. My mum was a costume designer at Shepperton Studios, so sewing is just something that's just kind of natural that we all do. So I suppose making costumes for dolls, I suppose, is probably the first thing that I remember doing. So yeah, I've been doing it for a really long time. I'm not as good as my mum. My mum is amazing, but you know, I've learnt most of my bits and pieces from her. So yeah, it's just one of those things that you know, I've always done. I've always loved doing, and it's a great activity to do. It's lovely and calming, especially in these crazy times that we've got at the moment.
Fabulous. Well, it's so good. We're so pleased to have you with us here now as part of Team Purple, the Crafters Companion family. It's really, really lovely. Any questions you've got for Becky, get them into me. Crafters TV over on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you are across on your YouTube. You get in touch in all the normal ways, which is wonderful. We're going to kick things off with some brand new fabrics for you. I absolutely adore these. I've actually got some cushions, Becky, at home that are made out of these, but with a bee print on them. Very, very similar. I don't know if you know the one.
I remember seeing those. Yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they?
Really gorgeous.
Lovely.
But I've done the cardinal. I've committed a cardinal sin. My friend, who has a business making cushions and stuff, has made them for me beautifully, and also made 4 cushions made out of those, 4 made out of beautiful upholstery fabric, and a couple of floor cushions. They were finished 4 months ago, and I still haven't got the inserts yet.
That's terrible.
I know, it's really bad. They're in a drawer.
If anyone wants to know what to buy Joe for Christmas,
yeah,
cushion inserts, that's the way to go.
Some cushion inserts is definitely the answer. These are going to be on 1/2 metre pieces for you, which is fantastic. The great thing is as well, with all our fabrics here at Crafters Companion, we cut them by hand. So we can actually cut these up to 8 metre pieces. Really beautiful repeating patterns. They are on a linen. I don't know about you, Becky, I just love linen. I think it's got such a beautiful organic nature to it, isn't it?
It does, doesn't it? It's really fantastic. It's nice to work with as well, but the patterns are so beautiful. I mean, that little robin, oh God, I wish I had some of that one.
Yeah, really, really cute. So you've got the robin, so that's the first one that you can go for. Let me take you through the other designs. So you've got the robin. You've also got this. Now, I don't know about you, Becky, I'd call this a gonk.
Yeah, and I don't know what a gonk is, but I hear that word a lot. It's this kind of sort of
Scandi, isn't it?
A gnome kind of thing,
yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But we're calling it the elf. It's beautiful, whatever you call it. You've got this, which is just such an iconic, beautiful design with that Christmas tree in there. This one is fun. I'm seeing like a gorgeous apron maybe made out of this. I think would look gorgeous in the gingerbread. And then you've also got the snowman in here as well. Priced individually per 1/2 metre, £5.49 or £7.99. Mix and match, go for a few of them. Or if you want to, as I said, we can cut multiple metres. Then what we've got beautifully will match in, so the imagery is continued through but pulled into a panel. What sort of thing can we do with a panel? Because I mean, we don't tend to bring a lot of them here at Crafters TV, but I know they are a very popular size, aren't they?
They are. I mean, ideally for cushions, as you were saying before, you know, you've done your you know, your bee cushion, they're absolutely ideal for making cushions, but also as a panel on something else. I mean, maybe you want to make a table runner with these at either end of the table runner with some of the other fabric in the middle. I mean, that is just beautiful, isn't it?
Gorgeous.
You could embellish that, you can embroider on the top of that with some sort of glitter threads or beads. I mean, I think they're just beautiful. Or maybe making these into a sack, Christmas gift sack.
Nice, love that idea.
Like that, yeah. Lots and lots of uses for them.
Yeah, really beautiful. They feel gorgeous as well. I really love linen. I think it's beautiful. I love the structure of it, which is fantastic. So do grab those. £2.49 or $3.99. Those really, really beautiful. The other thing I want to talk to you about is this. There's loads of brilliant deals online during this show. What I'd say is definitely go over, hit that shop the show button, have a look at everything we've got for you. But this has been super busy. This is our mini patchwork templates. It's our sewing deal of the week, in fact. So what you're actually doing is you're paying for these here, which are our mini patchwork templates. We launched them quite recently. They were very, very popular. And then what you're actually going to get in there as well is the fabric strip roll. I know some of you might refer to that as a jelly roll. You're getting that in there. And you're then getting the rotary cutter as well with the replacement blades, which is fantastic. Both the rotary cutter and the fabric strip roll, totally free of charge. I need to let you know though that half the stock of this is gone. It's been a very, very busy deal. A lot of you tuning in and saying hello this morning. Georgianne is saying hi from Clearwater, Florida. Good morning, Georgianne. The lovely Lynn is in. She says hi to Joyous Joe, Becky, the CTV team, the social superstar, and everyone. I hope you're all keeping well. I'm keeping well indeed. Thank you, Becky. Are you keeping well?
Absolutely, yeah.
There you are. We're all good. Thanks, lovely Lynn. Shadai says, good morning, Prince Joe and Becky. It's so nice to see Becky join the team of Crafts Companion. I've watched Becky on Create Craft and she is quite the inspiration.
Oh.
Love that. You've got fans in the house already, Becky. Right, we're going to kick things off then with the mini patchwork templates, I believe, aren't we?
Now these are really, really good. They're fantastic. You're going to get 12 in each pack, and they're all these different shapes. Now these are really useful if you don't have a die cutting machine and you don't want to do everything by paper. These make life really easy for you. So I'll show you what you'll get inside.
Fabulous.
You can see how beautifully presented they are. So they're also contained in these sort of paper or card sort of holder, but you could always take these out, and they do have a large circle here, which you could then thread through a ring, so you can hang them up in your craft room.
Fantastic.
Now, the really clever thing about these is that you've got your seam allowance already taken into account here, and also at each corner on your seam allowance, you've got a little spot. And now this is really useful for when you want to, you're going to be sewing these together, and particularly if you want to be using like a Y seam. So if you're going to be using a sort of more complicated shape, that you would then be able to get this sort of really accurate, because this is where you start and stop your sewing. So that makes a real difference. So they've really thought about everything with these. Now these work perfectly with your jelly roll, with your strip roll. So I'll show you what they look like when we start sort of cutting them together. So I'm going to go for the tumbler because I really like this shape. This is one of my favourite shapes at the moment. Now, one of the other things you'll get in here is your little booklet, which has got all the information about the different designs you could make. So you don't actually have to just make the one shape. You can show in here how using different shapes you'll get different designs. So here we've got some triangles, and we've also got some of the half hexagons. So you've got lots of options with this. And as I say, it's really useful for you if you don't have a die cutting machine, or you don't want to, you prefer cutting things with a rotary cutter or by hand. These are really, really useful for you.
So 12 pieces in here, but multiple options and patterns then when it comes to how you're going to use them. I mean,
absolutely.
Loads, I'm guessing.
Yeah, loads and loads. I mean, I think that's the key thing with these, the things that we bring to you. We're trying to give you as many options as possible, and we're trying to give you options of making things that, you may have made in the past, and you just want to make, you want to make things a little bit easier. We all like the actual sewing part of making things, but actually sometimes making, doing the other cutting out is, for me, that's the thing that I don't enjoy. I want something that's quite easy. And I've used patterns in the past which have been paper patterns, and they're quite fiddly. They aren't the easiest things to be working with. Now, I really like these because I know they're durable and they're going to last, and obviously with paper shapes or even card, they're going to sort of get damaged over time. These are going to last for you. They're made with really good quality acrylic, so they're not going to sort of chip even if you drop them on the floor. And that's what we want, some longevity in the crafting items.
And I guess
that you're buying.
if you're new as well, it's even more imperative you're learning to sew that the cutting out is accurate, isn't it? Because if you're trying to sew two uneven pieces of fabric together, I mean, you're going to get a donkey's back leg no matter how great you are with the sewing machine, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think the other thing you need to remember is you only need to be very slightly out when you're cutting. You only need to be a millimetre out, and by the time you've put your thing together, you're 1 or 2 centimetres out, and it's really, really noticeable. So when you're sort of sewing, and I'm one for this, that I sort of think, oh, I just want to get on with it, and I just want to push it through and, you know, sort of get it together and not worry too much about how accurate I am. Well, that doesn't work when you're wanting to make something that looks beautiful. You want to make sure they're super accurate, and this sort of eradicates that problem.
Brilliant. So how easy are to use then, Becky?
Super easy. So I've got my strip roll and I've got 2 pieces here. So I'm going to cut through 2 layers. Now they're both facing the right side. Then I'm going to take, I'm going to pop this on here. So you can see here, you've got your sort of crinkly edge of your strip roll. So this is the edge that's sort of been cut with pinking shears. So you'll find this with all of the strip rolls. You have this sort of very sort of slight edge to them. This is just how they've been cut to stop them from fraying when they're shipped. So you don't need to worry about those, because although we're saying you've got 2.5 inches of a strip roll, it doesn't actually include that little sort of the little teeth at the edge. So we just place our template wherever we need it to be. And I'm going to use my very small rotary cutter, just because I find it a little bit easier for me today, because I'm up quite high. Normally when I'm working at home, I'm on a slightly lower table, but because I'm up quite high. And I'm going to hold my rotary cutter against my template here. You can just see you've got on the very edges, you just need to cut off the points of this triangle. Now ideally you'll be using a rotating mat, which I haven't got today, but I'm just going to twist this round like that so I can cut round this side without moving my fabric.
It's always good practice then to move your mat, not your work, is it?
Yeah, ideally, that's really what you want to do. And you don't need to push down too hard. So sometimes, I know I've mentioned before, when I've used, my mum sews a lot, and she can't use a rotary cutter. She finds it too difficult. So for her, what I would do is I would place my template. I'm just going to match up the edge of this one. So I'm going to try and sort of not waste any of my fabric. And then I can use a pen to draw around and just use it as a sort of traditional kind of template here. And then I could then cut it with my scissors. So this just means that everything is really, really accurate for you. Now, when I cut this one here, what I didn't do is make a note of these little points here. So I'm just going to do that here, little holes in those areas to make sure that we notice where the stop and start points are when we sew together. And then it's just a question of sewing your pieces together the way you want them to be. So you use a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and you'll see, looking here, you've got this sort of kind of little shape, almost going to be like a 1/4 of a hexagon, I suppose, here. And this means that you're going to be matching that up. And because we've sort of thought about these, we've made sure that you don't have any bulk, because normally when you're sewing, you would cut off these little, like, dog ears, we would call them, just to reduce the bulk of the item that you're sewing. But we've already thought about that, so you don't have to worry.
Fabulous.
So like we said before, you know, we're trying to make things as easy as possible for you, so you can get together, you know, sort of sewing the bits and pieces you want to. So I'm going to run it through the sewing machine now. So just using a normal running stitch, and you're going to use your 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And you can really get on making some fantastic items really super quickly here.
If you were new to this sort of style of sewing, so patchwork, what would be a good beginner project do you think to start with, Becky?
I think something like a small mat. So on the show today we've got these Quilt As You Go little mug mats. Now I think they're a really good starting point because they're not too big. I mean, the idea of doing a great big quilt is quite onerous. It's going to take a long time to get that together. So something like that would be really, really useful. But actually having, if normally you'll be using fat quarters when you're doing patchwork, but using one of these strip rolls, these are really quite useful because you know everything's cut to the right size for you to get started. You know, with a great big fat quarter, you've got to fold it right just to know if you're going to be cutting them. So this way you can sort of start with your strip roll, fold it over, cut plenty of pieces, and then start sewing them together. So you can see here, I've just pressed that with my finger here. Now, I've been making some before. So this is the tumbler one that I've been doing. And I've sewn them together with two different colours. And you can see how they start building up. Now you wouldn't have to necessarily just use one or two of these shapes. So in this sample here, this cushion, you can see we've got lots of different shapes here. We've got this diamond,
really cute,
this jewel one, the hexagon, and we've got this, I can't think what that was called. That one's called that's called the diamond. So this is the jewel. So that shows how diverse you can really make your items just by using these very simple templates. You can create something really quick and easy. And look how effective this is.
That reminds me of like almost
shapes.
like a, you know, sort of an Indian well. You know, you see them all sort of the way they're all cut in. Very, very awesome.
Really lovely.
Love that.
Yeah, very, very nice. So we've got, so that's what the tumbler one looks like. And then I've also cut out of this one, I've got some different shapes. So we've got the diamond and we've got the equilateral triangle here. So again, you can see how effective these looks. And this is the great thing about here, because we've put all these different designs that you can make in here. So you can see all these kind of like Bardello kind of effect here that you can get, which I always found quite tricky. The idea of doing this Bardello effect with the different sort of angles as well makes it really easy. So if you've been just doing squares or just doing hexagons because you're a bit concerned about all the different kinds of shapes you can, you would be using, you know that you could buy this and you can make so many different items.
Yeah, and the other great thing about this as well, dies are fantastic. We love the dies, especially for larger projects, but they are a considered purchase, aren't they? If you maybe are doing a different style of sewing at the moment, you would love to try quilting, this is really the optimum bundle for you to try, because in there, you're just paying for those 12 guides. What you're then getting, the templates, is you're then getting the strip roll, that's worth $19.99, and the rotary cutter, you're getting the 45mm rotary cutter, worth $21.99. So a brilliant deal. No better time, Becky, I think, to have a little bit of a foray into patchwork, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really good opportunity for you to start because everything's contained here. You would need some kind of mat, but you might have something at home or a cork mat that you could use because you would be using the rotary cutter on the top of it. But yeah, you just need a sewing machine. You don't have to worry about the big. We could do it by hand actually. These are quite small shapes, so doing them by hand would work really well.
Fabulous.
But you're right. It does sometimes. If you haven't got a die cutting machine, you're not ready to make that plunge just yet. These are a really good alternative, but equally these work really well if you're going to be making some bits and pieces. You don't want the hassle of getting your your die cutting machine out. These are going to be really good for you. Brilliant.
Excellent. $24.99, $29.95 if you want to get your hands on them. Do snap them up. They are a brilliant tool, which is awesome. Very busy on these already. As I said, over half the stock has already sold out and gone here, which is fantastic. It's products like this that really make me want to have a go at sewing. I'm going to try and learn to sew in the new year, Becky. I'm saying trying to learn.
I mean, you've got to. You've already said, you've now said on TV that you're going to do it, and we're all going to hold you responsible. You're not going to be able to get away with it, I'm afraid. No. That's going to be how it happens.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
So I'm going to carry on putting these ones together. So I've got these shapes here. It's like that. And then that one goes this way, and then we're going to be building up. So you know what would be fantastic is if you were, you know, you cut all these different shapes out of a whole collection of fabric, and then you just start putting these as and when you want to, you know, put them. So you can, you know, it's almost like a puzzle, isn't it? Working out how you're going to build your design together. So I'm going to put these together here. And they can look so different with different colours and different patterns. Now I really love these colours that you're going to be getting in this fabric pack. You've got some beautiful designs in here, some sort of quite small delicate florals and other sort of much darker colours as well. It's a really beautiful collection of colouring. So just sew across.
And I guess with the size of these, do we not need to clip them or pin them or anything like that? Are they small enough that we can just pop them through as they are, Becky?
Yeah, I mean, ideally you would pin them.
Right.
Just then now I didn't pin it and it's gone slightly wrong, so I'll do this one. But we won't worry about that. You know, that's live TV for you. But yeah, they're small enough for you not to worry about putting any kind of a pin or quilting clip in there. You can just sort of put them together by hand.
Fantastic.
There we go. And so we've got this one here. And I'm going to just trim off my little edges, my little bits of thread. So you can put something together really, really quickly. And I've got really, I've got so much patchwork stuff that I've started and not actually finished.
Yeah, I crochet and I have got a bag full of things that are unfinished.
That's always the way, though,
and I'm
isn't
always
it?
looking for something new to start.
But there's so much excitement that comes with a new project, and I think we're all sort of guilty of sort of feeling a little bit like that. That you know you want to get started on the new thing, not necessarily finishing off the old thing. But for me, it was always the question of having to. Is putting everything together and doing the boring bits. The boring bits I've always felt were the cutting out. And the initial sort of setting together, and I wanted to do the fun bits and pieces, the bits that were, you know, putting the colours together, sewing them, and I think this is, you know, a really good way of starting to do your quilting, or sort of getting on with your quilting jobs without having to. I'm just struggling.
There
with
is
that
a
one.
side. I mean, I know what you mean about starting a new project. There's also then that. There's the excitement of starting a project, but the satisfaction of completing one is also quite lovely as well, isn't it? But we get to the middle bit, I think that's maybe where we crave the feeling of finishing or starting something. So go back to the start again.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, I think that's the you know, the it's lovely to finish a project, but it's you know, I find that I'm equally excited as starting a new one as I am about finishing it. I'm just going to cut a couple of other pieces of the fabric out because one of them's got a little bit frayed in the journey down here and it's not sewing particularly well.
Okie doke.
But I'll just cut those ends off like that. But you can see how quickly it is to put those together. So I've only just sort of you know, realised that that's not working for me, but I've been able to cut something very, very quickly out. So again, you know, if you were going to be using your die cutting machine, it might take a little bit of time for you to, you might not have it out to hand, but you could always find a little bit of space in order to put your cutting mat and your rotary cutter to do these.
Now, I asked everyone that I've ever worked with that's a sewer, I've asked this, Becky, are you someone that sews over your pins or whips them out?
Oh, no, I don't sew over them. I had a bit of a accident when I was at college, and the pin flew up and hit me just here. And it was my first day of college.
Oh,
it was really embarrassing.
The embarrassment.
Yeah, and then I was sort of panicking, and I ended up sort of getting it caught into my finger, and I had to go to A&E to go and have
definitely whipping them out then.
Yeah, so definitely take them out. I mean, it depends what your you know, how your machine copes, but I think generally speaking, you don't want metal on metal.
Right.
Really, I would be inclined to say it's best not to. But I mean, if you're concerned about the fabric moving while you're sewing, you could always use a little bit of glue. And we've got the glue on the Collal glue on today.
Got a brilliant deal on that.
You could always use some of that. and that would make you, that would then be a little bit easier for you perhaps. But yeah, I would be inclined to say don't is the word. So I'm going to put that one on the top of here. So I'm just going to do a quick finger press here. So obviously if you're at home, you're going to be sewing and ironing all the time, but we'll just place this together so you can see how quickly it comes together. And I will put a few of the quilting clips here just to hold this. So again, you're going to be getting these with your orders. And now these are invaluable. And you'll see later on, I'm going to be making a little bag, a bottle bag. And it's got some sort of wadding in it, so it's a bit thicker than normal. So these quilting clips are absolutely perfect for when you want to do something that's a little bit thicker.
A couple of people just struggling to get the panels in their basket. They are showing it for a couple of people. Someone said, are they out of stock? They are not out of stock. They appear to be showing in stock for us. So we're just going to have a little look into why that might be, Rebecca, and we'll let you know.
So there you see, I could carry on putting that all together, but you see how that comes, how that looks. Now, obviously, you could change these points, these triangles, into different colours and get a totally different look to it. You could even sort of put them all together and have all the colours moving up in a diagonal, and that would look really effective. So this is a really, really good sample of the kind of thing that you can make very quickly and very easily.
Beautiful, really great. And I love the payoff with something like this, the fact that you're seeing it come together so quickly, as you've just seen the lovely Becky do there. So definitely grab these, especially whilst they are on this amazing price, because let's face it, we come back next week, we'll have new sewing deals of the week. This won't be included, and you're going to be paying $24.99 just for the templates on their own. However, what you're going to get today is you are going to also receive the 20-piece fabric strip roll. That is worth £20 in the UK, $23 in the US. I did show you the wrong rotary cutter earlier. However, this one that I'm sharing with you is better than the one I was showing you earlier. So it's like a little Brucey bonus for you. And this is worth £22 or $30. You're not paying for either of those, saving you £42 or $52, under £20 or $24 for platinum members. Do snap that up. I want to whiz through some of the Save and Stitch items that we're going to share with you in more detail a little later in the show. This is a brilliant deal for you. Buy two, get one free on our Collau textile glue. This is the glue that Becky was just talking about a moment ago. So brilliant if you want to adhere fabrics together. It is machine washable as well, up to about 30 degrees. So do snap that one up. We've also got the delightful decorations, heart and snowflake dies with felt. A really cute little bundle there. Would be great to create some plique. Again, if you're a hand stitcher, I think those are going to work beautifully as well. $10.39 or $13.56 if you're a platinum member. Coming towards the end of the stock of this next item, which is why you'll find it in Save and Stitch, is your multi-craft applique Christmas die. This one's nativity. Excuse me. They're a multi-craft die because you can cut paper or fabric with them. So brilliant that you've got the option to use them on both. We also have the Nutcracker available for you as well, with a 30% saving again. We're coming towards the very end of those though, so do snap them up. The Tool Tidy, these are fabulous. These are not just for sewing rooms. These are great in the office, in your craft space. You can just store lots of things in these. I'll take you through them in more details as we go through the show. We must go back though to those beautiful linen, knocked me rotary cutter over, to those beautiful linen fabrics that we shared with you earlier. A half-metre pieces here on these. They are just beautiful. I think linen is gorgeous because it has such a sort of wonderful organic nature to it. It's like really posh country kitchen. That's what these say to me. You know, I'm seeing an Aga, some Le Creuset pans, and then some tea towels and some pinafoils made out of these. That's the energy that these give me. So you've got the Robin, which is this one just here. So you can go for that one. Ooh, 30% of this has gone already. You will need to be quick for these. We are only, half an hour into this show. The Elf, half gone on the Elf, just on that one little preview alone. I think we knew the Elf was going to go very quickly today. So if that's in your basket, I think we're already getting towards a point where I might be urging you to check those out very, very soon. We've then got the Christmas tree here as well. 30%, almost a third of the Christmas tree has gone. I love the detailing in the background as well, a little bit of sort of inky detail in the background that really makes these pop. This one, there's a film where the gingerbread men are really naughty and they do really naughty things. I can't remember what it is.
Wasn't it in Shrek or something like that?
Was it Shrek?
Yeah,
That's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah.
These really remind me of the gingerbread people from Shrek. So, yeah, they were mischievous, weren't they?
I think they were.
Yeah, I think they were. Naughty little gingerbread people. 10% of the gingerbread is gone, and then you've got the snowman here as well. 10% on the snowman too. The elf, if you want the elf, you're going to have to be quick for the elf. The panels are available. They are showing in stock on the US and the UK website. So let me share with you. 40% though of the robin already sold out and got it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Then the elf, which is more of I'd say it's more of a gonk, but who am I to? I'm not sure, I'm not really qualified maybe, but half is gone is what I can tell you. If it's in your basket, consider checking it out. The thing is with these, lots of you are multi-ordering on them, and why wouldn't you at that incredible price? Next up is the Christmas tree. Quarter of the Christmas tree has sold out and gone. We've also got the gingerbread man there. 10% of that one has sold out and gone. And the snowman panel, 10% of that one has gone. Very, very busy across all of those, so do grab them. Right, we've got some fabrics for you from Dutch Heritage. These are buttery softies, aren't they, Becky?
They are. They're really lovely. They're nice to work with as well, and beautiful colours.
Really lovely pop of colour. It's a buy two, get one free. Again, they're on the ½ metre for you. You've got that wonderful purple with a ditzy print. Then what you've got is this one here. I love the red, the orange and the green. Sorry, the red, the yellow and the blue. Red, orange and green. Where did I get that from? Red, the yellow and the blue. No, Joe. The red, the yellow. There is green in there. Oh gosh, it's one of those days today, Becky. And then this one, which has got kind of like a real 70s vibe to it, which I love. So that's your first option, $15.98. Buy two, get one free. These, you need to get these home just to feel how soft they are. They feel really cool to the touch as well, which I'm told is a good sign, Becky.
And I really do love these. I mean, when they say Dutch heritage, actually they really do feel this kind of classic colours, don't they? They're sort of vintage colours, vintage designs, really lovely. Really
beautiful. And again, the same sort of imagery on the first two there, different colours. I'm not going to try and point out what the colours are again. And then what you've got is this one, which is, again, a very 70s vibe. I love they've got that sort of retro feel to them. How much of this one's gone, Georgina? A third of that one has sold out and gone. And then the final option we have for you, maybe my favourite actually, is the pastel, because in the pastels you get two of those sort of bold floral and then also that little sort of ditzy floral in there. A third of that one has also now sold out and gone. Now, a path that I've walked many a time, Becky, the drunkard's path. It is our block of the week. The names that we come up with for these hang on a minute, is that the price? I don't think I've ever seen a builder block at that kind of price. £42 or $62, 70% off, under £15 or $22 for platinum members. Remember as well with this one, the great thing is you make multiple size blocks. There's 6, 8, 9 and 12-inch blocks. And you've got loads of different dies in here. As always on our builder block system, full video tutorials as well over on our website, which is fantastic. Becky then, Drunkard's Path. The name, firstly, makes me want to have a play with it anyway, I think.
Do you know, this is one of my favourites because it's so simple, because you've only got two different shapes and you can make a myriad of different designs. It's really, really impressive. So as always, they come in these fantastic boxes, really great storage. And then you just need to pull out the little drawer, push it from that side, and then you will get your box of tricks. You get all your different shapes and you'll get a little map that shows you what size everything is. So you can see here, there are just two different shapes. You've got this sort of right-angled curve, and then you've got the basically what's left out of a square when you take that away. So really, really simple and beautifully designed. And so everything's stored in here, and you're not going to lose anything, because you don't want to be spending money out on these dies to find that you've lost one or one's got bent. Put them back in here. You know they're all safe and they're all going to be together. In the booklet, you'll see so many different ways of designing this. So this is the traditional drunkard's path. So I mean, I think if you were a drunkard walking down there, you just end up in the middle. You don't ever get anywhere. You know, it's almost like one of those kinds of mazes where you get lost.
Yeah.
But you can see from here how many different designs you can get just with those two different shapes. And it's a huge difference of designs. So some sort of more modern, these are kind of quite sort of 70s kind of look to them, whereas you've got some others which are much more sort of complicated, like the one at the very front, here, the traditional drunkard's path, and then this sort of one over the hill. They look totally different, these two designs, but they're made with exactly the same shapes. So really easy to do. So all you need is a die cutting machine.
Just before you jump into how these work, Debbie, Debbie, how Debbie? How
Do you know what?
Debbie from Becky?
Loads of people call me Debbie.
Do they?
And my sister was called Debbie. And my sister passed away when I was 21, and I always feel it's my sister's way of trying to get involved in whatever I'm doing, because loads of people call me Debbie. So don't worry, it's fine.
That's quite nice then, really, isn't it? There you go. Right, I just need to, Becky, jump in, let you know that the Robin panel die, congratulations if you got it. I mean, it was going to go fast. That has sold out and gone. So many of you are multi-ordering on these. The Elf, congratulations if you got it. It has sold out and gone. Still have 3 available for you though, so maybe have a little look at these ones. What we've got here is the Christmas tree, or you can also go for the gingerbread man. I'm quite pleased with how I've picked these up and then dropping them. It's like production, look at that. And the snowman, honestly, it's like the production levels of a Beyonce concert in here today. It really, really is. Do grab the ones that are left, £2.49 or £3.99. Sorry about that, Becky.
That's all right, no problem. I'll just show you some of the actual samples of these here, so you can see what they look like. So these are, I've shown you in the, you know, in the booklet what these would look like. But when you see them here, you see the difference in all of these different shapes. So this is, you know, it's a super good, look at that. Look at that, that's the actual
Beautiful,
drunkard's path. And really effective with these very plain fabrics. But you obviously could do them with looking fantastic with some pattern fabrics as well. So I just think out of all of the die shapes you can get, this is one that really does sort of lend itself to so many different designs. Look at those ones there as well. Really, really clever and very impressive. So I'm going to be using this with some of the Dutch heritage fabric, and typically I've chosen the one that's actually sold out.
Oh dear.
So that's always the way.
You get the gist though.
You know, if you want something to sell out, just hand it to me and ask me to do a demo on it. So I'm not using my fabric plates here. I'm actually showing you how you can do it on your ordinary plates that would come with your Gemini machine.
I'm glad you're doing that, because Rebecca actually asked, can you use normal Gemini plates to cut fabric dies?
Yes, you can. Yeah, if you've got your fabric dies, that's obviously, your fabric plates rather, that's obviously great. But if you haven't got them, you can do it this way. So you'd have your normal sort of plastic, you know, clear plastic layer. Then you've got your metal shim. Then you would put your fabric on here with your die. So I'll just tape that down. So these, I've got 4 layers of fabric here to cut through, which should be absolutely fine. So this is the Dutch Heritage blue fabric, but I think we had it in other colourways, this actual design, which I really like. This is, you know,
yeah,
again,
we've got it in the purple actually still in stock.
This is quite sort of a 70s look and feel to it as well.
Which is all very trendy-wendy at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then you're going to put your plastic shim over the top of that, and then your clear plate there. So.
We obviously, all of the fabrics that we bring to you are 100% cotton. I am giving a walking tour tomorrow, Becky, for the first time in Manchester.
Oh.
Yes, I've learnt it. But did you know, here's a fact for you, in the 1800s, 80% of all the world's finished cotton textiles came through Manchester.
Wow.
What an incredible statistic.
That's impressive.
80% to think.
And how much is it now?
None. No, it's very, very small. So much so that like the bedding and the bedding sections in department stores in places like Australia are actually called the Manchester departments, because they thought it was a word, not a place. And in certain languages, Manchester actually means corduroy trousers in like Czech and Swedish and languages like that.
Oh.
There you are, a little bit of general knowledge for you there on Sunday. That
is really useful. If I'm ever going to be in a pub quiz, I'm going to choose you, Joe.
Absolutely do.
So I think...
Only for questions that are about Manchester or Eurovision. Anything else, yeah, I'm no good.
What is the best Eurovision song ever?
Hero by Charlotte Perrelli from 2008.
There wasn't even a breath.
Don't get me there. Not there. He's saying,
ready.
Don't start him off. Don't start him off.
So you can see how quick that cut perfectly well. Not using your fabric plates, just using the plates that you've got. But so if you don't have them and you haven't got them yet, don't worry, you can still cut these. And obviously, depending on the kind of fabric you are going to be cutting, depends on how many layers you can go through.
Would you always patchwork with just cotton, or are there other things that you would ever use to patchwork with?
Yeah, you tend to use cotton more than you use anything else. You might use a cotton polyester. So I think actually this isn't 100% cotton. This has to have a polyester in it, and that's absolutely fine. I've used a denim before, and that's really good. Obviously, denim's much thicker, so you'd probably only cut maybe 2, possibly 4 layers. You'd have to have a look and see how that worked. But yeah, I mean, lots of cutting corduroy or something like that, that's quite difficult with patchwork, but you can use all sorts of different kinds of fabrics. Maybe leather, patchwork leather or leatherette, that would work really well. But yeah, generally speaking, it's cotton, because traditionally quilts and patchwork quilts are the kind of thing that you have on your bed, so you would generally have like a cotton comforter, that kind of thing.
Brilliant.
So I've already cut some of the sort of, what would I call those? So right-angled circles, I suppose, for want of a better term. And these fit perfectly into these little gaps here. So obviously, when you look at them now, they don't quite fit, but you've got to take into account your seam allowance that you're going to be doing here. But with this particular one, you need to learn how to sew on curves. And so sometimes sewing on curves can be a bit daunting for people, but actually, I'm going to say it's not, and it's really easy, but I don't want to say that just in case this goes horribly wrong. But actually it is really easy. You just need to do a little bit of preparation. So starting off, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to fold it over, and I want to find the center point. So I'm just going to rub it with my finger. So obviously, if you're using these fabrics, are perfect for this because you can see the other side of it. The other, only one side's printed. But if you've got a plain fabric which is quite dark in colour, you might need to use a little bit of tailor's chalk just to mark it in the right place. So I'm just going to match those points up there, and then I'm going to finger press that there. So you could always use a pen to mark it if that's what you wanted to do, and you can also use glue for doing this. So you may have seen Bernie using some of the glue that we've got on the show, and she uses that to secure these 2 pieces together before she sews them. I'm going to use my pins for today. So I'm going to find my midway point between those 2 pieces of fabric, and I'm going to match them up, and then I'm going to pop my pin in there. And then I'm going to take these 2 pieces of fabric and I'm going to match up these 2 points using that sort of right angle there, and I'm going to put another pin in there. And this is effectively what you're doing. You're sort of securing those 3 main points, the beginning, the end, and the center point, in order to sew around the curve. Now, hopefully, because they've been cut out with a die cutting machine, and because I'm being quite careful, these all should sew together beautifully. And awesome. I'm going to be definite. It's going to be beautiful.
I have nothing but total faith, Becky, I must say.
Now, with this is probably the biggest size that you would want to use with only 3 of these pins in there. If you're going to be using the larger sizes, you'll probably want some extra pins in the middle to start moving it together. So I'm going to start sewing this. So I'm going to be using my sewing machine. Again, 1/4 inch seam allowance is what we generally say for all of our sewing. Just check I've got everything lined up okay. And then just start by going back a little bit. Oops. There we go. And then we're just going to be really, really careful and quite slow sewing around these curves. And hopefully it will all work and make perfect sense.
Brilliant.
You're saying that now, but we haven't tried it yet, so let's not worry about it. Let's see. Okay. just be really careful when you're sewing. Don't make mistakes like I did when I was sewing at college with my sewing machine.
So what did you go to college to study sewing?
Yeah, well, I did textiles at college,
right?
And art and design. But yeah, it was always, the thing is, when you've got a parent that's particularly good at something, when you try and do it yourself, you're never quite as good as them.
Right. Okay.
So I used to find that with the things that my mum and dad could do, it would be a lot easier for me to just hand a design over to my mum and just say, could you make that, rather than making it myself. Not that I did that when I was at college, but sort of moving forward as I got older.
Right.
I remember watching or looking in a magazine and seeing Prince at a concert, and he was wearing this fantastic purple suit.
Right.
And I thought, gosh, that's what I want. So I just sort of handed the design over to my mum, and my mum made me this identical purple suit.
How incredible.
And then when I was at the concert, that's what I was wearing, and I looked just like Prince.
So what sort? So you said your mum was it TV, film and TV? She made costumes
so she was at Shepperton Studios. So back in its heyday, pretty much everything was made at Shepperton.
Yeah.
So you would have lots of sort of big key films that were there. So yeah, it was just one of those things that I was always surrounded by people making costumes, and people playing around with fabric. And we used to have a box of fabric and offcuts and card and that kind of thing. And as children, we could just help ourselves to whatever was there and make whatever we wanted. So it was a really sort of inspiring place. I mean, this is before the internet, and before video games. Because I'm that old. And so, you didn't even have that opportunity to do anything else. You were just making. So, I barely watched TV growing up because I did. Because generally one of my parents had made something on there. But generally I was making stuff, yeah.
That's amazing. That's a really incredible story. I must admit, my main motivation to learning to sew is so I can make fabulous outfits. I do love a bit of dressing up.
Oh yeah,
Becky.
Do
yeah,
you? I can tell by your jumper.
Fancy dress, or we were talking earlier about how I've refused to be confined to the men's section in clothes shops. So men's clothes are so boring. Just not all of them, just a lot of them are. So yeah, I really would love to learn to sew so I can make some fabulous outfits for nights out and stuff. It'd be wonderful.
You're in the right place, aren't you?
I really am.
Here, sort of surrounded by all these bits and pieces. So you can see here, so this is what they look like when they're put together. So they're not properly ironed, but you can see this is sort of one way you could make a design, but you could also do another design like this. You make like this this is the winding road. You could make it look like this. You've got so many different options of how you could put this together with these different fabrics, and that's just using 2 different shapes and 2 different types of fabric, but you've got so many different options here. And so you can see sewing around the curve is not that complicated to do. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit slow to sew. Don't rush doing it, and just make sure that you're quite accurate with when you're placing your pins or your glue in the right places.
Fabulous. Really, really busy on this. Easy to see why. An amazing deal. The great thing as well about the builder block system is that if you've got the original builder blocks, then yeah, you're going to be able to use them in conjunction with this, but they all stand alone as well. So there's no reason this can't be your first investment in the builder block system. You've got lots in here as well. So of course, you've got large corner die, medium corner die, small corner die, and then you've got your large, medium and small quarter circle dies as well. Full video tutorials available for you. You can make 6, 8, 9 and 12-inch blocks with that too. But the saving for me is what is off the chart here. £42 or $62. Under £15 or $22 as a platinum member for builder block is a price point I have never seen before. So definitely snap that one up. I need to let you know that the panels, the Christmas tree, sold out and gone. The gingerbread man, sold out and gone. The snowman, Sold out and gone. So congratulations if you got your hands on those. Very, very busy. I knew they would go quickly, and they have, exactly. So really beautiful. If you love the idea of that beautiful linen, then you can, of course, still grab a hold of that. So what I'm going to do is I want to take you back through these again now. Remember, they're on a ½ metre piece. Also remember that we will cut them by hand for you. So if you want larger pieces, so maybe you want a 2 metre piece, a 3 metre piece, we can do that right the way up to 8 metres with these. So do grab them like that, and feel free to multi-order on these. £5.49, £7.99. Half the stock on the Robin has gone. We've got the elf for you as well. 60% of the elf has gone. Then you've got the Christmas tree here. Over a third of that one's gone. You've got the gingerbread man. A quarter of that one's gone. And then the snowman, a quarter as well. So do grab those. Very busy there. What I want to do actually, there's a lot of you with a lot of this fabric in your baskets. A lot of you are going for all of it and multi-ordering all of it as well. So I think it's really important that you get checked out if you've got any fabrics in your basket, because you saw how quickly those panels went. I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that. Whilst you do, here's some of the fun stuff we get up to here at Crafters TV.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet. The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing.
Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
We're having an exceptionally busy, seamless Sunday. Merry Christmas. I think I need a swig of tea. 1 second, Becky, sorry. I mean, that is a monumental... So I'll have to Becky's gone. So I have to confess, Seamless Sunday was the name of the show that is the name of the show on Create and Craft that I used to present 2 years ago now, which has never popped back into my head. But I did just read a message from Debbie Robinson in which she referenced Seamless Sunday. So therefore, that's what it was. This, of course, is not Seamless Sunday. This is a softer side of life. Now, we are having a very, very busy one. Now, let me share with you, I just want to remind you, it is our 5th day of Craftmas, and that means everyone gets a free gift. Today's free gift is going to be this, which is your quilting clips, and we'll have a different promotion for you every day. It might be a discount, 3 for 2s, there's loads of reasons to shop with us over the 12 days of Craftmas, which is awesome. So definitely grab a hold of those. A couple other bits that I need to share with you and talk to you about. Launched last week, it is the fabric cutting plates for the Gemini Pro. Now, absolutely, as Becky said, you can use your regular cutting plates for your fabric cutting. The thing is, I think if you do a lot of fabric cutting, you're going to go through them quite quickly. So the longevity on these is what really sets them apart. It's why you guys love them. They're UK only at the moment. They're $32.99 for the 12 by 12. The size of these ones, what whoppers they are. This is your 12 by 18. I almost feel like I want to go outside in the sun and use this. You know, you'd see people back in the 60s, wouldn't you? Sunbathing with a mirror.
Around their necks.
Yeah. $39.99 for the 12 by 18 if you want to go for those, which is fantastic. We do also have for you the standard Gemini and the Gemini Junior. I'll share those with you now. Available UK and US. What I would say is these Gemini ones will go through the Pro sideways if you want to use them like that as well. So these will go through both. So you can use that one just there. And then we've got the Junior ones. These will go through the Junior, and they will go through the regular Gemini sideways as well. $14.99 or $17.99. Now, the tool tidy is something else that is fabulous. I mean, we say this is a sewing product. I think it's an anywhere around the house product. Pens, I think home offices, Becky, would be great for you for this as well, wouldn't they?
It's really good, and particularly if you've got something like tweezers or something that's a bit pokey, bit sharp, that they're pushed out of the way and you can see exactly what you've got. So no, they're really, really useful. I've got mine on my work desk.
Super handy.
Yeah.
I need one of these for home, I really, really do. You can use them absolutely everywhere and they're great. Obviously, once everything's up. The other great thing as well, having everything facing up means that you can see it all and you can take it out rummaging through stuff to get to things, which is brilliant. I better take those things that I've just put in there out of there, or I will forget they're in there. The other ones that I want to share with you, the other things we're going to talk about, we're going to have a look at some pattern packs. I know Becky's got some beautiful samples for you. I'll just take you through the two options. So they come in a duo. This one here is the lunch on the go. And that's also, and the weekend bag you get there in that one. And then the other option for you are these two here. It's your trendy tote bag and also your all occasions purse and wallets as well. $13.98, $18.13. Love these, Becky. Absolutely great. Functional, but you can make them very, very pretty, which sings to me. It really does.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is example of the lunch on the go. So it comes with what you can make a little cushion. So you can sit in the park and have your lunch. You've also got a little bag for your lunch there, and you've also got a bottle holder. Now this is something that I'm going to be doing a little demo. I'm going to make something a little bit different. So this is great for your water bottle, but it also fits in a bottle of champagne.
Oh, perfect.
So, you know, great for a gift taken to somebody.
Could we sew sort of an insulating lining in that if we wanted to as well, to keep that champagne ice cold, Becky? That's all I'm thinking about.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a good idea. Or, of course, you know, you could put something warm in there, you know, maybe mulled wine. I seem to be going on the alcohol, but, you know, it doesn't matter. But you could use it for all sorts of different
things. We'll be on that drunkard's path in no time, let me assure you.
And then this is the tote bag here. So you can see you've got some beautiful zips. It finishes off really, really beautifully. This would be great as actually, you know, this would work as a picnic bag. You can have all of your other bits and pieces in here. Now this is this is for like a trip out. And you've got all bits and pieces inside. It's beautifully finished. So you're going to get all the patterns and the instructions to make this. Lovely little thing. Really,
really beautiful. They are absolutely gorgeous. I just want to take you through, I mean, more sellouts to tell you about. It was so busy. I'm not going to go through them again now. What I would just say, if you've got the linens in your basket, think about checking them out. Very busy because we've actually lost one of the Dutch Heritage fabric collections, already gone. So that's gone. I'm going to share the other two with you quickly as well because these two are now limited. So if you're going for this one, you saw Becky demoing with this in the other colour in the blue. If you're going for this particular collection just here, this is your purples. Is this limited stock now? Limited stock on that one, and the other one you've got is this one just here, which is your pretty Oh, Pretty Pastel's actually just gone as well. Literally just sold out. Congratulations if you've got them. My, oh my, we are having a fantastically busy show. Lots for you to shop for as well. If you haven't yet, pop yourself over to the website, hit the Shop the Show button, have a look at all the great deals. Loads of stuff in the show we won't get a chance to share with you. But I know Becky's going to take us through exactly how these pattern packs go together.
Yeah, these are going to be really useful for you. So I was sort of thinking about what to do with this demonstration, and I thought this water bottle, this bottle holder, was a really good option, but making it with some of the Christmas fabric that we've got on the show today. So I've made it with the Christmas tree one, which I think we still have stock of, but I thought this time of year we're going to people's houses and we're bringing them gifts, and often it might be a bottle of your favourite tipple, it might be a bottle of lemonade, something like that, but you can pop it.
It's going to be tipple, let's face it.
It's going to be tipple, yeah. It's gonna, but you might not, you might be home making some of your drinks for Christmas. That's always a really good thing to do. And so you can pop them in this this bag and take it over there. It'll keep it insulated if you use some insulated lining, some insulated batting. But otherwise, it's a really nice sort of gift to give somebody. So in your instructions, you will get details about how to make. So this one, it comes with 3 different items. So this is a cushion, the bag, and also the bottle bag.
Amazing that you get 2 packs and then so many different designs in each one.
Really, really good value. And then you get paper patterns. So you can see here, I'm not going to cut them out today, but you can see what they look like here. So you can, on this side, you've got all the bits and pieces, and it tells you how many of everything to cut out, whether you're going to be cutting them out of the lining fabric or the insulating wadding. So we've sort of really held your hand in order for you to put this together. So this, I've made this in pieces, so you can see, hopefully I'll be able to get all the way through this and you'll be able to see how I've put it together. So this piece is the main panel, so you've already cut 2 out of the outer fabric and 2 out of the lining and 2 out of the insulation wadding. So I've already done this one, which I've cut out of my lining. So this is just some of our sort of general cotton that we have.
Awesome.
So this could work really well. So if you're popping some of those panels or that Christmas fabric into your basket, have a look. These are fat quarters that I've been using here. So I'm going to sew down either side of this piece here. So again,
I would love to use the bottle bag. I tell you what, I've got an insulated water bottle. I absolutely love it. But the problem is, often I want to take it out, but I'm not taking a bag out with me, Becky, because I don't really take a bag out like a backpack unless I'm going shopping. Would be great to actually have that, wouldn't it? Maybe even resize it slightly and just have it so you could actually hang your water bottle on you, which would be fantastic.
Actually, in pattern pack, you will get the information to make a strap. So you can absolutely do that and almost wear it as a little bit of a bag.
Yeah, fabulous.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Which is really quite useful because quite often, you run out of hands, and I find my water bottle doesn't actually fit inside my handbag.
Right.
So I have the same kind of problem.
Mine's I've got 3 backpacks at home, and the water bottle is just too wide for the little pocket on the side. So it has to go inside, and then I forget I've got it then once it's inside. And you're all trying to, use less plastic and stuff, aren't we? So I try to take my water bottle with me as much as I can. I don't take my Joe Remblance TV Superstar water bottle out with me. That only stays here in the studio, you'll be glad to know. It's just a regular plain one when I'm at home.
What is that? I've not seen this.
One of our old directors, Daniel, bought me I'm going to grab it for you. It's getting a bit well worn, to be honest, but I'll show you all the same.
I wonder whether Joe's grabbing it so he can show me that he is a superstar. I think that probably is the case, isn't it? So you can see here that I've just sewn down each side of the lining, and then I need to pop in my. This is the bottom of my my panel. So if you can see for the instructions here. It'll show you about doing your bottle bag here, and then it says here, with your right sides together, attach the outer base to the bag. So we're going to fold this inside out, and obviously because we're using plain fabric, it doesn't really matter whether you're, for this piece, whether it's the right side round because it's plain fabric anyway.
Here
so
we go, Becky.
This way.
Joe Remblance TV superstar.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, it could do with us going a bit green, isn't it?
Ugh, when was the last time you used that?
It also, Ben stuck this on it because he's it's definitely a bit green. I need to get a tablet in there. Honestly, then Ben put this sticker on that says Joe Resemblance because he said that now I had the tash and no beard, it didn't look like me. He didn't, so he stuck that on there for me as well. Yeah, so I don't take my manky green TV superstar one out. I have a normal one, obviously, when I'm at home.
All I'm going to say is I don't want Joe making me a cup of tea because I don't know whether he's actually going to wash the container.
Well, I mean, how'd you clean them up? Yeah, I need a tablet in there for sure. You can't, the thing is, I tried to put boiling water in it to rinse it out and it started to shrink and I had to rinse it out and now it's a bit sort of tilted.
You're supposed to use like one of those little tablets, aren't you? Like that they use for babies, that kind of thing.
I obviously don't because I'm a boy and I'm lazy, so that's why I've got a green water bottle.
Right, so I've just got my circle here, so this is the bottom, and I've folded it into quarters and I've marked each quarter with a pen. So that is what I'm going to be using to put in to my the bottom of my bottle bag holder. So I'm going to use some pins here. So this is, I'm going to be using both, first of all you start with both seams and then matching up those points as well. So it's a little similar to when we were doing the curves before. So you're not sort of working your way all the way around first of all. You're finding points in your fabric.
It's very, very last call on that Dutch Heritage fabric. It's just about to go. It's in your basket. Please do check it out. It's really, really busy there. A lot of people tuning in saying hello as well. Evelyn says, good morning from Colorado. I love the fabric, makes me wish I could sew. It's the biggest temptation of the week, this show, says Janet Bradley. If you learn to sew, you'll be hooked on the power of what you can make, which I love. Shadai said the tool tidy is a must, and they fit nicely in the Craft Companion craft tote as well. Really great suggestion that actually, Shadai. Rhonda loves a tool tidy. The patterns are brilliant, says Pammy as well. Eleanor says, I wish I had Craft Companion back when I had my sewing machine to help me with my sewing. I'd done because I was new to it and I was actually showing myself how to sew. A lot of people that sew are self-taught, aren't they? It seems to be one of those things you can just... I think as well, Becky, there's never been a better time to learn something than there is now. Because we have like YouTube and the internet, I mean there is so many hours, isn't there, free tutorials and videos and explaining how you can do stuff. We're quite spoilt really.
We are really. I mean, you were saying about doing crochet. Crochet is something that I've never been able to work out, and I know there are loads of videos.
Yeah, I kind of taught myself how to do it.
Yeah, and lots of people seem to do that. I've not been able to, but I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you know, my washing machine wasn't working a little while ago, and I had a look online. I found a video how to fix it. I fixed it. I'm like a plumber
What's wrong with
now.
It?
Oh, the door wouldn't open, and I found, you know, if the door doesn't open, you can use a coat hanger to open it. There's a little notch in there, and then I got a little replacement part. Put the replacement part in there. You know, I saved myself a fortune.
That's incredible.
It did take me a long time to do. I mean, far longer than I think it would have taken the plumber to do it. Yeah. But you know, I did it anyway.
At a fraction of the price.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm just sewing round here. This is never a good thing to do on TV when you're sewing around curves. But it's it would. I've already put the other part of the bag together, so I can show you what it would look like once we get to all this stage. So basically, you do the same thing with the outer part of the bag as you do for the lining. And I've used just some ordinary batting inside, some wadding. So, but ideally you'd want to use some insulating wadding in there. So I'll sew around here. Oh.
Don't forget 2 more great shows coming up here for you on Crafty TV today as well. Myself, it's double helping of Michelle after this. She's back in the building, 3 p.m. in the UK. 10 a.m. over on the East Coast. We've got a craft along coming up for you with those amazing panel dies, and then Second Chance Sunday comes your way as well, 7 p.m. in the UK today, and then 2 p.m. over on the East Coast. Then you get a little break from me. I think you've earned it. It's day 5 today. Ben will be back with you tomorrow for the start of a brand new week, which will be very exciting.
So you can see what I've done here is I've sewn all the way round, but what I should have done earlier, which I forgot to do, is leave myself a little bit of a gap here. So I'm just sort of taking out some of my threads here. And this is for us to be able to turn the bag the right way round a little bit later. So it would look like that. So I will show you what else I've done on the bag. So this is effectively exactly the same thing that I've done with that lining, as you can see here, but I've done this with the outer part of the bag and the wadding. Then what you do is you take your top of your bag. You don't have any wadding in this because this is the bit that's sort of flexible, and you sew some lining and your top in exactly the same way. Now what I found was really useful is what you need to do, I've top stitched over here, but you have to run a little bit of a channel up here because you're going to put a drawstring on the on your bag to hold it all together. So this is one of our positioning rulers that we had on the show last week. Now this is really useful because you can work out exactly where you're going to put your channel, and I'm using one of our heat erasable pens. So I'm just going to make a mark an inch across from the top.
Rebecca's just said, I bet you've got a cracking immune system, Joe, looking at that bottle. Maybe. I feel quite self-conscious about it. I'm going to clean that in the break.
We've shamed you.
You have.
But I think it's really easy, especially if you've left a water bottle in the sun, you know, in a car or something. You know, they do tend to get a bit, grotty quite early on. So I've marked on here with my heat erasable pen, but you could of course draw a whole line across here. Now because you're using, this is quite an awkward kind of shape to be sewing on your sewing machine, you may find it's easier to draw a line so you can keep nice and accurate, but it's entirely up to you how you want to do that. So after you've stitched this line across, you would then attach this part to the main body of the bag, which I have already done here. So I've turned everything the right way round, so it's all sort of tucked inside here. And now I'm going to turn it round the right way. So this is my lining, and then I've got this little hole here, and I'm going to pull the bag through this little hole. So there's a little bit of sort of teasing. So there's a few sort of times where you're sort of turning things inside out and the right way round in order to get everything looking nice and neat and tidy. So you can see here, this is the top of the bag with the lining, and this is the main body of the bag, which has got the insulating wadding in it. And then we're going to tuck the lining in. So what we would do here is stitch this together, so that's nice and no sort of fill. So you do that by hand or by sewing machine, and then we tuck that inside the bag.
So adorable, isn't it? It's such a cute little bag. You know, rather than just giving someone a bottle of something in a gift bag you bought from the shop.
Yeah.
I mean, for the time it takes to actually sew something up and make it, I mean, it just makes it I'm not going to say an average gift because it might be a very nice bottle of something in there, but it just really makes it very personal, doesn't it?
It does, and I think that's the thing. You could put something quite ordinary in here. You know, you don't have to spend tons of money, like you say, on you know, expensive tipple. You could have something quite average. Even if it's a nice bottle of water that you're taking over if you don't drink. So there's lots of options for you here, but it just makes it look a little bit more special. So I've now going to put this drawstring through. So I've unpicked the side seams in between this top stitching here and this channel that I've done here. And I've got some red ribbon, and I've popped what they call a safety pin in there. And I'm just going to use that to push through and thread this through here. So the safety pin is on here, so you've got something to push against. So you can see I'm sort of just feeding my ribbon with my little safety pin through and around.
Is there, if you're not very good at this, because I think this would be the thing this would be where I'd come a copper me.
Oh no, this is really easy.
Oh, is it easy?
This is the easiest thing you could ever hope to do. really simple. But the key thing is to have not be skimping on the size of ribbon that you've got,
right,
and to have some kind of safety pin.
Okay.
So I've just used safety pins. You know, often when you go to the dry cleaners, they safety pin your your ticket onto your clothes.
They do.
I just keep those, so they're not even, special safety pins, they're just ordinary safety pins.
Fabulous.
And so I'm going to take that off and tie
There's a shop near me where you can, I was talking about it actually the other day here at work, and it's a haberdashery, Becky. Oh my gosh, you'd have a field day in there. It's called Abercarnes, it's in Manchester, and it is, honestly, they have a whole wall of buttons, which is like the size of the back wall of the studio. And they have a whole wall of ribbons as well. I go and get my Christmas ribbon for my presents from there, and it's so exciting.
Oh, who doesn't love a haberdashery shop?
Oh, of course.
I think there was something I saw on Facebook the other day, which was it was a haberdashery mobile van that goes round.
Wow.
And I was like, gosh, that sounds lovely. I can't remember where it was, but I thought that looks really, really good. So for people in areas where perhaps they can't get out very often, you can go into this little mobile van, look a bit like a mobile library, but it's filled with fabric and ribbon and notions. Oh, absolute dream.
Absolute dream, indeed. As is that bag an absolute dream. I think it's absolutely beautiful. George of the Joystick, gorgeous George of the Joystick next door was asking what your tipple of choice would be. What would be going in the bag if someone was giving you a present of some description?
A bottle of champagne.
Little bottle of champagne. Why not?
No, a big bottle of champagne.
Of course.
A big bottle.
A big bottle, a Jeroboam of champagne is what will be going in there. I love that tree bag. It's so cute, says Eleanor Swing-Jones. It really, really is. Some really, really great deals for you in this show. And we're going to have a look at some of them now, actually, because we're going to move into our Save a Stitch items, which is fantastic. We're going to start off with the textile glue. And now you're not just getting one of the textile glues, you are going to get 3 of them, which is brilliant, but you're only paying for 2, which is fantastic. So the great thing about this design specifically for all of your fabrics, which is brilliant. This is great, this glue. How would we use it, Becky? Is it machine washable as well? I kind of very sheepishly alluded to the fact that it was earlier.
Yeah, 40 degrees.
40 degrees, excellent.
Yeah, so this is really useful if you're doing some applique, or as we were doing earlier on when I was saying about sewing round curves. This works really well for something like that. It's not super sticky on your hands.
Right.
So sometimes you're using glue and it gets everywhere. So this is really good, and it's safe to use, and it's not going to make a mark on your items where you've put the glue. You're not going to sort of see that glue afterwards. So yeah, it's a really, really good thing to have in your stash. And this is the first time I've used it actually, and I think, gosh, I don't know how I've lived so long without it.
It's fantastic, isn't it? I've actually got a bottle of this at home, which I've used before for, on a t-shirt, some t-shirts, the sleeve, I don't know what it is on me, I think it's because I'm short, the sleeve never sits in the right place, so I always end up having to put a couple of turn-ups in some t-shirts. Before, with ones that on a night out that come down, little dot of glue on it each side, turn it up, press it at the front, press it at the back, and it will hold it. So you can just tack it with it and it stays up. Also, turn-ups on your jeans. If you wanted to, say you were going to do I cut my jeans off. I've cut so many pairs of jeans off that I've gone off over the years, or got holes in them.
Yeah.
And then I have to get someone to sew them up. With this, I could actually just cut it off, couldn't I? Turn it up.
Yeah.
I could just glue it up and then it's done.
Yeah.
This is joyous stuff, this. It really is.
I do like the idea of that, being able to sort of change your t-shirt at a moment's notice.
Yeah, and also there's some brilliant, I really love going out and buying big stickers. Not stickers, badges, sort of embroidered badges, and you get them with sequins on and all sorts.
Yeah.
In Soho, there's loads of great shops that sell them, and you can take a really plain t-shirt from like Primark or wherever you buy it from, pop a couple of badges on, you've got something fabulous.
Yeah.
All with the glue, make sure you get it. Also, the other thing I want to talk to you about are zips on a roll, which are these ones just here. Different colour options here for you. I'm going to whiz you through them. So you can go for the black, you've got the cream, you also have the grey, there's the red, we have the white, we do have one other option for you as well, which is the blue too, which is available for you as well. But zips on a roll, an absolute essential, of course, 511 or 637 if you want to go for those. We do also have the multi-craft dies. These are brilliant. Oh, hang on, wrong one. let's go for these ones first. The multi-craft dies, these are fantastic. In here, you are going to get the Joyful Heart and also the Sweet Snowflake there as well, which is fantastic. And you're going to get the bundle here of the Vibrant Brights as well. You pay for the hearts, get the rest free. Brilliant, brilliant deal on these. Love these. Got a bit of a Scandi feel to them, haven't they, Becky?
Yeah, I think these hearts, I mean, obviously with this sample, we've got these all in pink, but, you know, but making those in red and white like this as a Christmas decoration, I mean, you know, they're really, really lovely, aren't they? And simple to make, nice and simple sort of sewing on there. You'll also be getting in the packs, not just the dies, but you'll also be getting a little embroidery pack as well, so you can see how to embroider, like on this one here, with these little templates. So really lovely.
Beautiful.
And, you know, great thing to have, and so many different uses for it.
Really, really wonderful. Do snap them up. They are on a brilliant deal. $12.99. That's just one of the dies you are paying for. You're getting the second die, and you are, of course, getting you're getting the second die and the felt bundle within that as well. Oh, I believe you've got something to show us with this one.
Yeah, I'm going to do a quick demo on the snowflake. So I've just got to pop these through the machine, and I'm using some of the felt. So I just thought to finish off my bag. That
I love
I've
the
done.
sound of cutting felt. Really, I don't know why.
Sounds a little bit...
It's the ASMR, the kids might call it, I think. Auto sensory meridian response.
Oh,
it's
right.
like, you know, someone breathing on your neck. Just gives you a bit of, oof.
I don't
That's
think I
what
like
I get
that.
from the felt, do you not?
For someone breathing on my neck's a little bit creepy.
Crunching of bubble wrap is ASMR.
Oh, yeah,
It's the way that your body responds to it.
Because you can buy toys for children which are like bubble. They're not bubble wrap, but they give you that popping
that
kind
same
of
sensation.
thing, yeah.
Those little plastic things.
Yeah.
I wonder what they were for years, but yes, you can indeed.
I thought they were for making ice cubes.
I thought they were some sort of food mould as well. You're not on your own there. Or just cut felt. There you go. And then you get to make something beautiful as well.
Absolutely. So I've just cut those out. So they're the different shapes of the felt. And I've embroidered this one already, just in white. But actually this would look really lovely if you had some kind of glitter thread. That would work really well. So I use a little bit of the glue to secure that piece here. So I'm going to use a bit more of the glue here. So I'm not going to put too much on, she says, whilst dabbing loads of it.
Oh, you should have seen me yesterday in our craft line. I had a bit of a glue explosion.
Oh, no.
I was covered in it everywhere.
I sometimes do that with hot glue, and you end up with you've pushed your hot glue gun too hard, and then suddenly it all sort of comes out, and you realise, oh my goodness, that's far too much, and you're trying to sort of grab hold of it with your hands, which is fatal, actually, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So you can see how quickly that's built up. Now, you'd have to have a look at your die cutting machine to see how many you'd want to cut in the felt, but you probably only want to do one or two. It doesn't, because it's quite thick, quite dense felt, it might not cut too many pieces. But you can then, I've just used our little, oh gosh, what are they called? The punching. What's that little punch hole thing you've got? The
pokey tool?
No, not the pokey tool.
This one?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
thing.
that punchy thing.
That punchy
That's what I call it as well.
I couldn't think what it was called. So I just used that to cut a little hole here, so I could use it as a gift tag. And I'm going to pop my ribbon through here. And I've got too much ribbon, but it's always good to have too much than too little. Find my scissors. Not sure what I've done with those at the moment. There we go. And then I just thought this would be quite a nice way of doing a gift tag for a present. But you could obviously make these out of card as well, and that would work really well. You don't have to make them out of felt. You can make them out of all sorts of different things. But they would look lovely as a Christmas decoration, and I think that would be really nice. You could embroider on the back, embroider the year maybe,
Great idea.
or maybe even embroider somebody's name, like a family name, if you're going to be giving those to a family member for Christmas.
Oh, I love that, tying it on there. It's a great idea.
Just finish that off there.
And remember, you're only paying for one of the dies. You get the second die and all the felt for free, which is amazing. Oh, that finishes that off beautifully.
Yeah.
Love
nice
that.
little a gift tag for them, and that's using the glue as well to secure that.
Beautiful. Right, don't forget, if you want to go for those, you're paying for the Joyful Heart, which is this one here. You're also going to get the Sweet Snowflake and then the vibrant brights as well of your felt in there. Brilliant. Next up, we're going to look at some of the nativity dies. Now, these are multi-craft dies. It means that you can do paper and cardstock with these, or you can, of course, do all of your different fabrics with them as well. They're kind of like a hybrid between our multimedia dies and our thin metal dies. So 2 options for you here. You've got the nativity, which is this one, or you've got the Nutcracker as well, which is this one here, 1689 or 1946. Loads of friends this weekend seeing the Nutcracker. It's on in Birmingham. Some friends went to see it there. It's also at the Royal Opera House as well, I think, in the West End, Covent Garden at the moment. I just think what a gorgeously opulent thing to do, to go and see the Nutcracker at Christmas.
Well, when I was a child, I always used to go with my godmother. We would always go and see Swan Lake and we'd see Nutcracker, but always Nutcracker at Christmas. And I love the Nutcracker. And I was so excited when I saw that these dies were going to be on the show, because I've been wanting to have a play about with them. I think they're just fantastic. Got so many different options for this. Works really well as, as a card die, so you can make some Christmas cards, you make some gift tags, but look how fantastic they look
so
by using the felt on this little cushion. And then look at this. Look
that's amazing.
at that nativity stocking. How lovely is that? And super easy for you to make. This is something that you can make before Christmas comes around. You know, you're not going to look at that and think, oh my goodness, I'll never get that done.
Yeah.
You can get this done easily. And these are going to be lasting for you for years, these little dies.
Absolutely.
Really
And what I would say is, as you get your discount, why not get both as well? I think they are beautiful. Both have their place at Christmas. Are brilliant for decorations again, little hangings that you might want to make in the same vein as Becky did with the previous item. A couple of fabric kits for you on the show as well. Let's take a look at these. So this one is the coasters that you've got just here. I'm just going to change those details for you.
So these we were saying about if you're going to start doing patchwork, these would be a really good starting point for you to do, because everything's contained within them and they're quite a simple thing for you to get started with. So these are definitely worth popping into your bag and make a lovely gift as well.
Yeah, they really do. Again, Becky, I'm sure you do great hand sewing projects if you want to use them for that. What I love as well, that the fabric, I can't really see, I'm not going to open this one up, but the pattern is printed on, they're like lots of mini panels. You don't have to worry about tracing it out, just cut around it. You've got everything you need included in these as well. The coasters and also the mug rug comes together. You buy one, you get one free, which is amazing. The other couple of bits, nearly dropped them. The other ones I want to share with you, some overlocking threads on the show. You get 4 of these, which is great. You buy 2, get 2 free, which is fantastic. You've got 5,000 metres on there. Wowzers.
That's going to last you a while,
kilometres. It takes me 29 minutes to run that far at the moment. You get 4 times that, which is excellent. So definitely grab those up. And also then the tool tidy. Awesome deal on this, because with the tool tidy, it's a half price deal. This is how it's going to come to you. And then this is how everything sits in there. I think it's brilliant. Just great to have out on your desk. Also wonderful if you've got a home office or anywhere really. We've all got that corner of the house, haven't we, that everything gets put. Mine is the end of the kitchen work surface. I've got a knife block, and then behind the knife block just everything gets put. Because obviously the knife block's movable, you just squish it against the knife block, and there's pens and all sorts of things there. You get them organised and tidy with this, which I absolutely love. So snap that up, $7.99 if you are a platinum member. I want to go back to that mini patchwork deal for you. 3 quarters have gone now here on this. It is your deal of the week, which is amazing. So you can see here, $24.99, $29.95 as well, which is fantastic. You're paying for the templates, you get the strip roll and the rotary cutter included free of charge, which is brilliant. But Becky, I know we focused on this a little early on the show. For anyone just joining us, how do we use these and what they're going to do for us?
Well, they're really, really simple to use. So these are perfect for using with a 2.5-inch strip. You just need to place them on the right place. So they're all stored on the sort of cardboard here. But you just need to get your fabric strip, and then you take your piece here and you just line it up. And then you will use your rotary cutter. So this isn't the rotary cutter that you're going to be getting in with the pack. This is a smaller one, which I'm only using because I'm so high up on the table here and I'm quite short. And then I'm just going to cut across here And then ideally you'll use a rotating mat, so you don't have to move your fabric. And then you just cut along here, and then you're going to cut these little ends off as well, just there. So this is really good for you if you don't have a die cutting machine, but equally really good if you might not use a rotary cutter, but you can cut these by drawing around the outside of them with a pen and then cutting afterwards. Now they also have these little holes here at each corner. So if you use your pen, managed to lose mine, but if you use your heat erasable pen, you just need to put a little dot in each one of these points here, and they are then your starting and ending points for when you're stitching. And that will then mean when you put your items together, when you've got a seam which is shaped like a Y, you'll be able to get a nice even point on that. And that Y seam is always quite tricky. And now if you're a little bit like me, I tend to sew over the edge of the item that I'm sewing and beyond the edge. So having these little extra points in here will remind me that I need to stop stitching and where I need to start, and that will make sure that everything comes together quite nicely.
Excellent.
You've got so many different designs here. You've got 14 different shapes, 12 different shapes. In all sorts of different ways that you might want to do. And then if you have your mixture of different shapes, you can make something like that with those different shapes there.
Really gorgeous. Becky, we are out of time. I feel like the last 90 minutes has absolutely flown by. Do you know when you're back with us here on Crafters TV?
I'm not sure yet.
Oh, well,
probably in the new year.
Probably in the new year. I hope it is very, very soon. Bernie will be back with me next week for Soft Side of Life, so make sure you come and join us for that. Don't forget to check out your baskets, especially those fabrics are hanging on by a thread. What I would also say is a lot still to come for you here on Crafters TV today. Myself and Michelle back for the rest of the day. We've got a brilliant craft along with panel dies coming up in a little while. I might even have a go myself. I'm on a roll with the craft along. Well, I was on a roll until yesterday, covered myself in glue. Second Chance Sunday then, 7 p.m. Here in the UK, 2 p.m. if you are across on the East Coast. So we'll see you for those. Massive thanks to Becky. Can't wait to do it again real soon, Becky. We're going to go and grab some lunch and have a cuppa and a bit of a natter, and we'll see you back here in 90 minutes time. Take care.